I've been using this crappy storage for over 7,000 days and it's finally time to make something proper and automated. Here is my plan. Instead of completely stealing an entire storage like WildZ or just stacking over 2,000 item filters like Bomba, I will design my own storage. First I need to decide what features even want to perfectly suit the endless streams of items all my farms produce, but there are some ground rules I can establish. It needs to sort every item and it should do that rather fast. Instead of using 2000 of the same filter, I will use a combination of a normal and a bulk one, so my storage can hold mass quantities of common resources. Next, I need to find components and arrange them to my liking. Already knowing I wanted a new storage, I spent quite a few hours looking through the Storage Tech Discord. They archive all kinds of storage tech related contraptions like filters, shulker box loaders and crafting systems. I found components for pretty much everything I wanted, apart from the bulk storage, but I will get back to that later. Instead of letting you watch me boringly build the storage and say I'm done, I'll explain every component in detail so you can learn something while watching. What I'm making is a main storage, which is the primary storage for a Minecraft world or server, where all the items are automatically sorted into chests or even shulker boxes. The most common shape is a plus-shaped storage, with 4 holes each consisting of so-called slices. There are normal and bulk slices, which I usually mirror to both sides of the hole. Personally, I went for 2 bulk and 2 normal holes, because I would say I'm a rather extreme player who needs a lot of items, meaning a lot of storage. To sort every item I need about 800 filters, but to future-proof it a little, I'm going for 1000. This comes out to 100 bulk slices, because one slice can only sort 2 items, while the normal one can sort 8, meaning 800 normal filters and another 100 slices. 200 slices divided by 4 holes means a length of 50 blocks per hole, which is pretty good. For the normal slice I'll use this one by CommandLeo, which is everything I want. Water streams, 8 items per slice, 100% hopper locking and signal strength 3 filters, meaning it can't overflow due to 41 items already being in the filter. The bulk slice is a lot more complicated. I want an accessible box loader with a floor display and hopper locking while keeping nice ergonomics. But wait, what does all this even mean? The bulk slice still sorts items but also puts them into shulker boxes for higher storing efficiency. An accessible box loader means that the box that's currently being loaded can still be opened. This is useful for items you just don't have that many of yet, but still have them in bulk. The 2 options here are to have a loader that already has the box visible, or use a button to break the box that's being loaded manually. Because this is relatively uncommon, I'll use the button, which makes it a lot more simple to break the box while keeping the redstone small. Lastly, a box display displays a full box of the item, so you can just grab a few if you need to. The full boxes get stored in 3 double chests above the display to allow over 300,000 of a single item to be stored. You can also take full boxes out of the chest if needed. Nice ergonomics are basically layouts that don't break your neck, so the boxes, chests and buttons are at a comfortable height. That was a lot of information, but you're still here, so let's continue. After stacking the slices, the main part of the storage is done. I left a lot of room in the center to fit other peripherals, which is next on my to-do list. First off, I want a box-eating crafting station to quickly craft simple recipes. For the complicated 3x3 ones, I'll just go to my starter base. Next up is an Unstackable filter, also from CommandLeo. This is a much needed addition because the game is full of unstackable items. For the rest, I'll throw in some tool storage, a shulker box loader, Larry my trusty villager, and a bed to farm those sweet days. This actually just leaves one free spot, which I'll use for the input. For the longest time I thought I would use a simple shulker box unloader until I stumbled across this, a parallel item unloading array. Buckle up, because explaining this isn't very straightforward. Basically it unloads up to 16 boxes at the same time. The twist is, they all contain a different item. The machine checks the first slot of a shulker box with 4 possible cases. 1. It's empty and goes into the empty box output. 2. The first slot has an unstackable. It gets removed and the box starts cycling again. 3. The first slot has just one item. It gets removed and goes into this chest to be emptied later. 4. The first slot has 2 or more of the same item. Only in this case the box continues into the unloading array. One of those items gets stored in this chest, and any future box will compare itself with all items in that chest. If the item is already there, the box keeps cycling, but if not, it goes into the unloader. This makes it possible to run hopper speed filters at 16 times speed without any chance of overflow. The items get aligned and make their way through the entire storage. To make sure only shulker boxes go into the system, I designed the input to filter out any items. By the way, all credits are in the description and schematics can be found in my Discord. Oh my god, Okay, the storage has been assembled, so I'll just build in survival and worry about the item layout later. Sadly, before I can build it, I have to gather all the materials. I actually couldn't find the recording of me collecting all the materials anywhere. I know this sounds like cheating, but to make myself less suspicious, here's the item list. I've got farms for literally 95% of the items, it just took a while to craft them, but wasn't too bad. For that I used the 3x3 crafter I already mentioned earlier in my starter base, which can go up to 2.4 million items per hour. I also update suppressed the nether portal to create a 1x1 portal directly above the end portal, and it's in the center of the perimeter I made in the last video. If you want to know more about update suppression, look on YouTube. With all preparations done, it's building time. Ah, that was satisfying. The building part is done, now it's time to come up with a good item layout. I chose color-coded halls, which turned out to be a great decision and helped a lot with orientation. Making the layout took a few hours and I can't really explain the process, but my strategy was to have a list of all items and move them into groups until I was happy. Green is for plants, foods, all stairs, slabs and walls. Blue is for natural and colored blocks. Yellow for redstone, mob drops and bulk plants. And orange for workstations, ores, all copper variants, dyes and everything else. Now I obviously need to collect every item I want to sort twice, one for the filter and one for the display. Doing this took 8 hours and I couldn't come up with a good way to edit it, so here you can find the 100 times sped up version, while an even faster one is running in the corner. In the background I'm setting the item filters, which took over 4000 renamed items and lost me 60 levels, but after watching the entire endgame movie all filters were set. It's blurred so you don't get eye cancer. And finally, time to move into the beginnings of my mega base, and 15 hours later all items were perfectly sorted, just how I envisioned it from the start. Although 3000 days later I got so annoyed by the ugly decoration that I finally made some changes for the better. And that's it, my ultimate storage has been completed and it's been working wonderfully. Stats on screen, Discord link below, I hope you learned something and goodbye.